Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm just suiting up for another day in the studio. It has been so busy and so crazy. Tons of orders, tons of making, hence why this video, which was supposed to go up on the Monday, is going up hopefully on the Wednesday. I don't know, and I never know these days. For the little bits of time that I do have between making and fulfilling orders, I do have to organize my studio, and I don't know if you noticed behind me, I have all my colorants behind there on these shelves that the previous owner left behind. They were in my living room, and we took them down because we mounted our TV on the wall, so we brought them into here, and I think it looks pretty cool. But the organization doesn't end there. I have botanicals that are just getting everywhere, and I really need to organize them. I found some cool things at Goodwill to help me do that, which I'll show you later. And I have this machine from Munbyn. It is a 2-inch label maker, and hopefully it'll help me keep things organized even more. I'm just gonna pull it out of the box. Here she is, so cute. She actually beeped at me, and I'm not sure why, but this light came on over here. It's like a red M. Came with this cord. I also got sent some labels, so let's take a look. Organization is one of those things that are often overlooked, and especially if you are the only employee in your company, organization can go to the wayside because you know where everything is. In terms of keeping things tidy, if you're not organized, things are just going to take you a little bit longer to find something. Things are messier, so it kind of affects your mental health and all that kind of stuff. Ooh, okay. So I have these 2-inch pink labels. Oh, these are so cute. So let's go ahead and try to load the paper here. You pop it open like so. Oh, there's labels in here already. That's handy. Open the lid and peel off the label seal. Where's the I'm not sure where the label seal is. Maybe this is the label seal. I think that's what they mean. Okay. Make sure the label paper is placed in the direction shown in the figure below. Okay, so I think it's supposed to go this way. After the paper is put in, you need to press the button once to calibrate the paper. Oh, nice. Okay, so it calibrated it so that one popped out. Can I make it so that it doesn't pop out an extra label? I hate when it does that because I don't want to waste labels. Oh, okay. I don't think there's a way you can do this without wasting one of the papers, so whatever. That's too bad. Once the paper is put in, you need to press the power button once to calibrate the paper. Press and hold the power button for 3 seconds to turn on the printer. All right, I think that's it turning on. Or was it on the whole time? I think it was on the whole time and I just turned it off. That's confusing. Do you guys see this huge mess here? So these are all of my botanicals and the containers that I want to put them in. I'm actually really excited about these finds. Whenever I go to Goodwill, I like to pick up these types of containers. You can get these at IKEA, you can get them at any home goods store, you can get them on Amazon, but if you get them at Goodwill, they're secondhand and they're priced just a little bit better. And you don't have to buy a whole bunch to get a good price on them. I found these two. Found a jelly jar, another mason jar. But my favorite find is actually this guy. And it's these glass hexagonal jars with these lids that go on top. And they have this adorable caddy that they sit in. They can sit in sideways like so, or upright like these guys. And this whole thing was $15. 15. When I went to check out, the lady told me that she was jealous because this is what she was wanting to buy at the end of her shift, and I got to it before she did. This is amazing because I have all these loose botanicals that I need to store, and while I can keep them in their packages like this, it's just really hard to access them because it's just been super awkward trying to do that. So if they're in a container like this, I can have them at the ready, and it also just looks a lot nicer. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is putting my botanicals into these jars and then hopefully stay more organized. One thing that you'll want to do before using anything from Goodwill is to clean it out as thoroughly as you can before you use it yourself, and that is what I did. And as I'm doing this, I can talk to you about my favorite botanicals. First botanical are rose petals. You can get these pretty much anywhere, but they're so beautiful. It's like beautiful pinky red color. So if you ever want to add a pop of red to your soaps or to your scrubs, you can reach for rose petals. Roses also have really amazing properties that are proven to have skincare benefits. And I find that dried rose petals still have a faint rose smell to them. Not only can you use these rose petals as decoration, they make a beautiful and mild natural exfoliant in your scrubs. And you can also infuse the petals to make a rose oil infusion to use in your other skincare formulations. So I filled this to the top. So if I store this on its side and I open the lid, it doesn't come tumbling out, which is nice. But I'll probably just store it on its, make it upright for now. Kayla and I are in the thick of garden planning. And we do have a few roses that we brought from our lakeshore house. And those I think are going to come back nicely. On this property, we have a few bushes that we suspect are rose bushes, but we're not 100% sure. They don't have any buds on them yet, but the leaves and the stems, they look familiar. And I do think, I'm not sure, I'm not 100% on this, but she had at some point a arbor or a structure that had some sort of vining plant that used to grow over top of it. And we took apart that structure because she had taken it out and put it behind her greenhouse. And whatever plant that was on it was already dried out and dead. We couldn't figure out what it was. But along the side on this house, there's a thick, thick vine and a place where we think she used to put that arbor. And I suspect it's vining roses, but not sure yet. Another botanical that I really, really love are jasmine flowers. They're so gorgeous and delicate looking. Kayla and I had a beautiful jasmine vine growing at our old house. It's definitely a plant that I want to invest in and bring here to this house because it smells so beautiful. I think for our first year though, Kayla and I are gonna be focusing on vegetables for the most part, some flowering plants, but we don't know 100% yet what's all here. So we have to live a growing season to observe. And then once we know what's here, then we can start planting more permanent flowering plants like a jasmine vine or perennials like tulips and things that grow out of bulbs. You don't want to plant them in places where something else might be. We have discovered a few plants on this property just from them coming up now, where before they were coming up, it was just bare ground. So we don't know what's hiding, what's going to surprise us in spring and summer. We don't want to disturb anything either. So we just have to have a lot of patience. So here is jasmine. I'm going to put you in here. My next favorite botanical is a botanical I'm sure you guys all know and love, and that's lavender. Lavender buds. I've had it in this bag for so long, and it definitely needs a better vessel or a better container to keep it in. I use it so much too, so we need a container upgrade. Can I just pour it in? Will that work? Ooh. Lavender retains its scent so well. Just these buds, I can smell pure, lovely lavender. Will it fit all of this? It just might. That would be amazing if it did. It fit perfectly. That's amazing. Okay. So I managed to fit all of my lavender perfectly in this container. The last botanical that I want to show you guys is one that I've just recently been loving, and that's hibiscus flowers. I looked it up, and you can actually grow hibiscus here in Washington in the PNW. So that is super exciting, and I absolutely do want to try growing hibiscus in my garden. Can I just pour this guy in, like with the lavender? Yes, I can. I've had a raspberry vanilla, blackberry vanilla type of scent on my line for a long time, but I decided to change it up and pair blackberry with hibiscus. And the reason why I did that was because of how similar the two are, not only in color, this really dark maroon color reminds me a lot of the color of blackberries. Also in their scent, they both have a tart and sweet scent to them, so pairing them together made sense to me. And I haven't really seen people bringing these two scents together in their products, so it was a way to bring a little unique twist on the traditional blackberry. But what I like to do with these flowers, I like to crush them. You can buy hibiscus flowers already crushed and in powder form, but I like when it's a little coarser for sugar scrubs. But when you do crush these guys, it turns into the most beautiful purple pink powder that does color naturally certain products like my conditioner bars. Adding hibiscus powder turns them a nice pink color. I also pair it with a little bit of beetroot. I also want to infuse oils with hibiscus to see whether or not that pink color will bleed into the oil and color it naturally as well. How cool do these look? Now that I have these flowers nicely stored in their containers, I'm just going to put this away and clean up. Now to do my other botanicals. I have some butterfly pea flowers that I want to store not in this bag. This bag is really full, and whenever I would use butterfly pea flowers, it would just get everywhere. Use the biggest one for this. Look at that blue color from these flowers. I have some sweet pea seeds that I'm excited to attempt to grow in my garden. I'm waiting until after Mother's Day because they're the type of seeds that grow once you directly plant them in the ground. So I have to be a little bit more patient. And I mention that because I know butterfly pea flowers aren't the same as sweet pea flowers, but they're very similar. This turns water the most beautiful blue shade if you steep this stuff into it, which can be nice if you are making a bath tea or if you're trying to naturally color a lotion. But if you're going to do a lotion, it's better to use the powder because the flowers alone aren't going to color the water unless you steep it for a very, very long time. Beautiful. Now this guy, I think I'll fill it up with my nettle. Next, I'm going to fill this jar up with comfrey, another amazing botanical that I can grow here if I tried. Comfrey, like nettle, has such amazing skincare benefits. So here's my comfrey, and here is my nettle. And you can see why it's so important to label these guys, because if it wasn't for the different jars, then I would be completely confused. And the last botanical I'm going to be jarring is my lemongrass. So I have all my botanicals jarred. The next step is to add the labels to these guys so I can keep track of what they are. So I'm reading the instructions and it says to connect the printer via the mobile app, the Munbyn app. So you can see there's a few printers here. The blue printer is where I print my shipping labels from, and that's a Bluetooth printer, so I don't want that one. I'm going to pick the FM266, which is the model for this guy. So I'm going to select that. It's going to connect. And then let's look at settings here. Battery is at 71%. Now let's try to make some labels within the app. So to create labels, you can import your own designs to make very, very custom labels, or you can make labels within the app itself. So I'm going to try to do that to see how easy it is and what the results are. So I'm going to click create, new label. So I'm going to make a label for my rose petals. So let's write the text rose petals. Can I change the font? I mean, I don't want to go too crazy with fonts. That's nice too. Oh, I like that. And I also want to make this bigger. How can I make this bigger? Oh, alignment. Oh, you can just quickly align using these guys. And it looks like you can add graphics to it. Any cool icons here. Oh, that's cute. So you can add icons here if you want. And that might be a good system if what you are wanting to label is, say, flowers versus leaves. So it might be nice to have like a little icon underneath so you can tell at a glance what it is, even though you can pretty much see it and know that it's a flower. It might be a nice little touch. Should I do that? No, I'm not going to do that, but the option is there if you want to do something like that. All right, so I'm just going to do a simple label that says rose petals, and then I'm going to print it. And there is a print button right here. Let's go ahead and do that. I want to print it two. See, I had this problem with the other label printer. It printed two for me. So let me play around with that. So here's how the label turned out. Just a very simple rose petals. I'm just going to put it right here. And that jar is labeled. So here is the next label I'm going to attempt to print, and I made sure that the size of it was correct, 2 inches by 1.8 inch labels. So it should work. I also made the font thicker and bigger so that it filled out more of the label. All right, let's see what happens. So here's the next label that I want to make. Oh, okay, so that just printed the one label. Okay, maybe it just takes a few tries. I don't know. So here's that label. Lavender buds. All right, let's do hibiscus flowers. Perfect. And here's my little redo of the rose petals label. So it's working pretty good now. I don't know what was that weird hiccup in the beginning. This is what it looks like. I think it looks a lot better, and I'm really glad that these labels all started printing properly, because I have more jars to label. Those guys, these guys, and my infusions that I have going over here. So here is the organization. Everything looks amazing and neat and labeled. My botanicals are over here, and it just looks so much better. I feel like now that I've labeled these guys, I just want to go on a labeling spree and label the cupboards where I put specific tools, or the bins where I put specific ingredients. Really, the possibilities are endless, and I think that this little guy really does make labeling things and organizing your studio a lot easier. So if you're looking for a little portable machine that can quickly and easily print you out some quick labels, then I would definitely consider this machine. But now that everything is labeled, I want to make something. Actually, scratch that, I have to make something because I have orders and I have run out of stock on this thing and it needs to be made, so I gotta do it. And that thing is my Blackberry Hibiscus shampoo bars. Let's go ahead and make some and use some of these gorgeous botanicals. So I have my heated phase ingredients for my shampoo bar here, and the last ingredient I need to add is my sunflower oil that's been infused with alkanet root. You can see this gorgeous purple color, so nice. And thanks to my label, I'm able to know what this is at a glance. That looks amazing. So I'm just going to let this melt down and then combine my dry ingredients in the meantime. I have my powdered surfactants here. This is a mix of SCI powder and SLSA powder, but I'm also going to be adding some hibiscus flower powder and I currently don't have the powder, so I'm gonna have to make some of my own. And I have this little coffee grinder that I got from Goodwill, and I'm gonna use that to grind up my hibiscus flowers. And here you can see I have my hibiscus flowers ready to go. So I'm just going to add my flowers into my coffee grinder. I'm gonna add the lid and then grind. Take a peek. Okay, that did a pretty good job, but I want to keep going just a little bit longer. You can see all that powder wafting into the air. What a beautiful color that you get from crushing these petals. See how much this gleamed me. Ooh, that actually gave me a lot, more than I was expecting. So this excess I'm just going to store away for next time. And now that I have my hibiscus powder ready, I'm gonna move forward with the rest of the ingredients. And I'm using a mix here of white kaolin and rose kaolin. Next, we're gonna add some panthenol, which I like to crush up just in between my hands because it gets kind of clumpy. Next, we're gonna add some beetroot powder. Another beautiful natural colorant that gives a nice pink hue to what you add it to. Except soap, I think it turns brown in soap. My beautiful hibiscus powder. I'm going to add some rose petals and just kind of crush them in my hand so that they're in smaller pieces. But if there's some bigger pieces, that's okay too. I had someone ask me today whether or not these bits and pieces get stuck in your hair, and I've been using these shampoos and testing them out, and I can tell you that they do not. They do not get stuck in your hair. You just need to rinse them out and you should be fine. Like you would with a regular shampoo. You just rinse your hair and then it should be all good. I'm also adding some cornflower petals that are pink. And these are all of my shampoo dry ingredients. So I'm just going to wait until the wet ingredients completely melt down, and then I will add them to this mix. So I have the bowl in my mixer. I'm just gonna put in my paddle attachment, lift her up. Here are my heated phase ingredients all melted down, and you do want to completely melt it before you add it to the shampoo. So I'm just gonna start it going and slowly incorporate my melted ingredients. So as you saw there, it'll mix for quite a bit, and you might think it's never gonna come together, but it does eventually. And it makes this kind of putty, clay-like consistency, which is very moldable. So I just remove the shampoo from the paddle attachment, and this is what you get. Stiff clay. It's not incredibly squishy, but it's squishy enough. For the molding them into balls bit, I know precisely the amount that I'll need. So I just kind of roll them up and then weigh them. And I just get it to the exact weight that I need it to be to form a perfect bar. And then I continue to just shape it into a ball. Try to smooth out as many of the wrinkles as possible. And then I'll press it into the mold a little bit to get it to be a little flat at the bottom. Then I set that aside and just keep going until all of them are formed into balls. I'm actually making my first sourdough bread attempt today. I've been feeding the starter for almost a month, and that has been a whole learning curve. I don't know if that'll be successful, but it's pretty exciting to be starting on that journey. So since this is my first loaf, I don't even know if my starter is good enough. And unfortunately, it takes making the bread to know for sure. So it could be a dud, but I'm gonna try anyways because I think making sourdough is a skill that I would love to have. I just wanna make sourdough and feed people loaves. I've started the journey and that's all that matters. So I have all of my pre-shaped shampoo bar balls here. So all I have to do is press them. And I use the bath bomb press to press all of my shampoo bars and bath bombs. I like to just add a few botanicals to the bottom so that it presses into the bar. Shampoo bar on top. I like to put a layer of film over the top of the shampoo bar as well, or things are gonna start to get sticky real fast. I like to peel it from the top. And then you get a perfect shampoo bar. And here are the botanicals pressed into the bar from the bottom. Put a little bit of alcohol there, just a sprinkle of botanicals. Put the shampoo bar here. So here they are, my beautiful shampoo bars, and I love them. I love this scent. I'm so obsessed right now with blackberry and hibiscus. The combo of them together literally is heaven. So if you're a berry fan, give it a shot because I'm positive you're gonna like this a lot. And thank you again for Munbyn for sending me that label maker. I think it really does add a nice little touch to the jars and my containers, and it really does help me organize my studio, and I bet you I will be finding a lot more uses for that guy as I continue to organize this space, and so that it makes it easier for me to find things, because even though I'm just me, it's just me and my company, it's nice to know where things are at a glance. And as you can see, these labels help do that. If you're interested in that label machine, there is a link down below. If you're interested in purchasing these shampoo bars, there is also a link to these down below. They're available on my website, as well as a few other scents. I try to make products inspired by nature, inspired by my surroundings, my beautiful state of Washington. I really, really love living here, so I'm extra passionate about these products, and I'm so proud to be able to offer them to you guys. And lastly, if you want to make shampoo bars, I have a lot of shampoo bars on my Patreon, which is also linked down below. And speaking of my Patreon, thank you to my patrons. You guys are amazing. You are awesome. I am so thankful for all of you. You are so appreciated. Thank you so much. But that is the video today. Thank you for keeping me company in this studio vlog, and I really hope to see you guys in the next one. And until the next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, and keep making beautiful things like blackberry hibiscus shampoo bars. Bye guys.